Yo, what's going on, gang? Today we have Warzone updates. I mean, big updates, man. This is pertaining to Verdansk, Warzone in its current state. We had some really big rollouts today. I think everybody's going to enjoy it, man. So as you can see by this photo, this is a tweet from Raven Software from today. It says, you may notice something a little different starting today. In preparation for future updates, we will begin intermittently testing 150 players, gang. Standard battle royale. So look, we have made the jump from 120 to 150 finally, after what, 3 years of we can't handle it, it's gonna make playing all day long of like 120 and then playing all day long of 150 feels the exact same. And I'm telling you right now, like in terms of actual gameplay though, unreal. Like the pacing's better, it's not too crowded, it's all the problems they try to tell us, like cap. All of it was cap. Like, and this is like huge for us because one, they're actually listening to us with this like remark that we've preached this, and the fact that they're doing it, they're listening. And not only that, we can kind of like pick up now on the BS, because they told us this wasn't going to be a successful thing. This wasn't going to work right. Our servers couldn't handle it. It's going to overcrowd your match. You're going to feel like it's too fast, it's too high paced. It was absolutely incredible. They could absolutely go up in player count and it would still be great. It says we will be closely monitoring player feedback, performance, and overall impact of match flow. They're really just worried about like match flow. I don't think they care about anything else. Battle Royale slowing down became like a massive trend, and I don't understand why they wanted to slow down pacing of Battle Royale, but they did. So just know this 150 player update, this absolutely pertains to Verdansk, which is our next topic. The Ghost of Hope, he tweeted this out as well today. He said, it's back. What he means by this image isn't just the MP7, it's the floating loot. So we are getting floating loot back, which we have talked about for a long time. There's so many reasons floating loot is superior. One, I think it's easier to manage and handle because with it floating, you can just run through it, and your player, like the model, seems to react better to picking up the loot when you run through it. But not only that, centering's a huge problem in COD. Like I feel like the difference between like a pretty good player and a really good player, because like a pretty good player probably has a great shot, they probably have pretty good game sense, you know, but why aren't they really good? It comes down to centering. Like if you take like an elite player and like a very good player and 1v1 them, it's probably going to come down to centering rather than game sense, because if they both have solid game sense, whoever has the better aiming positioning to get there faster, on target faster, you know, a game of milliseconds makes a difference. And when the loot's all on the ground, you're staring at the ground the whole time. You can't be doing that. If you're staring at the ground the whole time, that's just going to make people accustomed to that. It's going to make bad players even worse because they had no idea what centering even is. So now they're just like aimlessly looking at the ground. They get a gunfight and now they're looking way up in the air. Rather than with the loot floating, you never really have to actually look down, you know, like you can look at an angle, you know, you're going from here to here, which is massive, because going from here to level plane is, you know, that's a big deal because you're going to overcorrect 90% of the time. A bad player is going to overcorrect, as to where if you're here going to here, it's a small movement. You're not going to overcorrect so much because it's not such a drastic move up in a panic. It's just a quick little flick. It makes a difference. Floating loot's coming back. That's one of the biggest announcements I've heard of Verdansk. That actually got me really excited. It's funny to see how COD has like implemented all these changes, and like it's been years, and now we're finally like reverting back, because we know the golden standard of Warzone, peak Warzone, was obviously Warzone 2019, Modern Warfare 2019, going into 2020, which was huge. And there's one more leak that is new as well. From today right here, the current plans for Red Doors to return on Verdansk in a future season. So Red Doors are supposedly coming back. I think this is a great addition, man. I wasn't mad at Red Doors. I will say, like, somewhere along the lines during Cold War, like going into Vanguard, the map like really started to die off. But I think this is a good addition. But regardless, whatever they decide to do with Verdansk, as long as it sticks to what they did originally, I'm not mad at it. I feel like what kind of ruined Warzone for me personally is we didn't ask for any of the changes we got with Warzone 2. We didn't ask for a new buy station. We didn't ask to buy individual loadout guns at a buy station. We didn't ask for loadouts to be $1 billion or slower movement or worse vehicles or crummy. The only thing we wanted was like we wanted a new map. That's absolutely for sure. We want, you know. So then we got Caldera. Wasn't that great? Like they kept pushing these weird maps. And with like even with the Caldera update, that's when we got the loadout change. So like right when Caldera dropped, you know, loadouts didn't you couldn't buy one until the first one had dropped, some ridiculous, and vehicles played differently. And then the next thing I think like I would if I had to say we all wanted something, it'd probably be like what a meta change. Because at the end of like Verdansk's life cycle, they started getting into this groove of there's only one definitive meta, not there's like 3 guns that are really top tier viable for each class. That's what made Warzone so special in the beginning. You could rock just about anything you wanted, and if you had the game sense, you could have big games. That's why you go on the channel, you go on my channel, you go back to Warzone, like original Verdansk Warzone. Even playing on console, you're watching 30 bomb games, 40 bomb games with just about any gun I touched, and it really came down to game sense. But everything was also like pretty much well balanced. You know, it was, I feel like it was easy to make a gun that wasn't the best look like the best because it was close enough, right? Like the meta wasn't too far off. So I think we're heading in the right direction. Obviously, I feel like we say this every time there's, you know, big rollouts coming out, but this is big. Verdansk can be big. It's definitely going to surge the player mark, and I think developers are starting to realize when we release Verdansk, we're going to have a surge, and if the game is still in this crummy state, it's not going to matter what the map looks like. Because I've said that before. I said it last year for Warzone 2. It doesn't matter if we get Verdansk back, like Warzone's still doomed, and that's not because like I don't think Verdansk can save the game. It's because I don't think like the QOL of Warzone 2 is sufficient to retain a player base at all. Like I really do not see it being viable by any means. I feel like I've said it 100 times, I'll say it again. Like they decided to overcomplicate UI and dumb down gameplay, and that's what killed Call of Duty. Like it's supposed to be like overcomplicated gameplay in the sense of like there's actually like a real movement mechanic, you know, there's actual gun skill, and then UI should be a breeze. UI should be dumbed down. Buy station should be the fact that you knew when you hit a buy station how many times to hit the D-pad to get exactly what you wanted in just a perfect straight row. It's peak. No one did it better, man. So hopefully we can get back to that. But gang, these are big. These are big. Big changes. I hope you all enjoy, man. If you have any sort of feedback, hit me in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, enjoy the content, hit the sub, crush the like, catch you tomorrow for another heater. Let's get it going.